Some more evasion stuff. It is Superman 27. We have Gladiator fighting Wild Dog on the cover. We saw some of that last issue too. Just to break the fourth wall and explain, the name Gladiator, a lot of people get the names Guardian and Gladiator confused. Even Marvel. There has been Marvel comics where Gladiator is called Guardian and vice versa. So that is something I brought to the table. But where it gets confusing is at DC we have this character, and then we also have me naming all of the Legion of Superheroes after their equivalent member of the Imperial Guard. And so Mon-El is Gladiator 2. And Mon-El and Guardian here, they actually interact in comics. So it's really, really confusing to anyone watching. And it will remain confusing to anyone watching unless they see this one video where I explain the name. That is the sort of information and insight that one of my 6 fans could put on a wiki. This is set between Evasion books 2 and 3. So the aliens have been defeated. And right now, Superman, he is helping with some of the cleanup. He joins a squad of soldier boys who are investigating a downed alien spaceship. There's little bits that I want to single out, but the comic is written by Roy Sternman. So there's plenty of them. We get an Andy recap of Evasion, so you didn't have to read that if you didn't want to. I would definitely recommend it. It's a lot better than History Has Treated and how Christopher Clairvoyant treated in a shit issue of Uncanny Excellent Men. The thing about these Superman Evasion tie-in issues is that they are actually really important to the next year or so of Superman stories. They are kind of the springboard for the direction for the series, for a few months at least. Superman is feeling exhausted and deflated, and he is finding his resolve and his responsibilities tested. Classic advert over here. The Suicide Squad one, not the comic book conventions listings. There is a lot of things contributing to Superman's overall bleak outlook. The invasion, obviously. He was busy dealing with that. But he also has been feeling very tired lately. And we also have the lingering effect of fights with Brainiac. And then a mobster who used voodoo magic to try and kill Superman. He does manage to get his personal life in some order here. And we have one of those little things that's slightly grate on me, but not enough to make me dislike a comic. Whenever in a superhero book you have the secret identity and someone makes a comment to them like this, where it's like, take it easy, you're not Superman after all. Blummin' hate dialogue like that. Dialogue which is aimed mainly at the reader rather than the characters. Some stuff here with Lois, Superman's girlfriend Lois. She's looking a bit rough here, a bit run down. Maybe she hasn't been getting much sleep either. I want to make a joke about the twist and suggesting that Lois is also undergoing the same sort of thing. But I promised I wouldn't spoil the twist, even if you already know it. I think it is a really well done twist, and it's a shame that so many people know of it beforehand. Superman, he finally gets to have some sleep. So, while he naps, we cut to Lenny Luthor, who gets accosted by Wild Dog. Wild Dog has decided to target Lenny Luthor because he is at the top of the food chain of scum in the Metro Centre. Before Wild Dog can knock Lenny Luthor's block off, Brainiac reveals himself and takes control of Wild Dog to save Lenny Luthor. This is just before the two of them had their falling out. This is before the Brainiac trilogy. Brainiac and Lenny Luthor, they are still partners in crime here. And actually, this leads to that because, surprisingly, Wild Dog is able to shrug off Brainiac's psychic attack. And that is how Brainiac wound up in a coma. So, Wild Dog is forced to retreat from Lenny Luthor, and this all leads us to the fight from the cover. So now we get Wild Dog versus Gladiator. Good stuff. Neat little fight. It is one of them fights I just like to see. Kind of like when Crossbone and Bullseye Man fought in Captain America. Two characters that just seem like good fighting partners for each other. During the altercation, Gladiator slices off the front of Wild Dog's armour with his shield. And what he sees underneath is positively shocking. I will praise them for not actually showing what is underneath here, not showing what he sees. The twist isn't complete yet. We don't know what Gladiator sees. Most of you know, the rest of you can probably guess. This is a good issue. I recommend it, but I recommend most the late 80s, early 90s Superman comics. Very good stuff. And here, it all feels impactful. Everything seems to have a point or to gain somewhere. We have the stuff with Brainiac, which obviously pays off when we get to the Brainiac trilogy. We have Superman dealing with the Evasion crossover, which will lead him to leaving Earth. We have this stuff with Wild Dog. Good comic, 7 thumbs up.